What is going on, guys? It's 288 here, and in today's video we're going to be doing a comparison between my replica of the Hennessy Exorcist and the real Chevy Hennessy Exorcist. So this is my replica, and this is what it looks like on the inside, and we're going to see if the stock of a modded version of the actual car will be any of this. So first, let's hop into our Exorcist that we unlocked yesterday, which is in Hennessy, not HSV, but in Hennessy. This car is practically stock, other than a race supercharger. That's all I've done to this thing, a race supercharger, and we were going to max this thing out with the stock engine to keep it authentic. And another thing we're going to do as well is we're going to keep it rear wheel drive as well, to also keep it authentic. Whilst my actual car, well my replica, was all-wheel drive. Alright, and the stock version has 1,000 horsepower, but because we added a supercharger in, it is 1,112 horsepower. And if we go into tuning quickly, we can get to know what our 0 to 60. Whilst my replica had 1,500 horsepower. Alright, now this is where things get interesting. For 0 to 60 on the, let's call it stock, even though it's got a race supercharger and that's the only upgrade there is, it is 2.09 seconds for 0 to 60 and 5.90, for 0 to 100. So even though it's 2.09 for stock, my replica one is 2.31 seconds on 0 to 60 and 4.38 on 0 to 60. So on a 0 to 100 on the stock, the replica is faster, and that is fully modded. Whilst the 0 to 60 is a little bit faster, which means when we upgrade it, would it become even faster than that? One way to find out. But we're going to begin with... Actually, what was the top speed on the game? And if we just go back into the tuning section, 221.8. On my replica, which we have to remember is modded, is 267.9 miles per hour. So we're going to take it down the highway and see how high we can actually get this thing. We're either going to go to the top of the runway or till the speed stops and won't go any higher. So without further ado, let's see how much this thing will go, or how high this car will go to. Already doing 190. I will just hit 200. Alright, we are out of gears. 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, 212, 214, 215, 216, 270. Oh, we've got a bit of downhill now. 220. 221. Alright, we tapped 221, but it is 220 right there. But we did tap 221, so it's not all that bad. Next up, we're going to be doing the festival drag strip, and my replica did the festival drag strip in 14.88 seconds. Will this be quicker, even though it's stock? But once we've done all the stock changes, we will go in and modify it to the top of its engine, like I said at the start, and we will see how different the rear-wheel drive modded real Exorcist is compared to the all-wheel drive modded Replica. This is going to be insane. So, I actually hope the stock will beat the... Right, we're not the quickest off the line. Oh, but we are catching up towards the end. Right, well, what was that? I didn't actually see the time. It was possibly the second. 18.89. So it is about 2 seconds slower than the Replica. But it does do some things better stock than the Replica does upgraded, which is crazy. Like the Nod to 60. That's about it at the moment. But we do have one more drag strip to try out. I've also found a drift zone and danger sign we can do as well. So let's go all the way up here and see how well it does on the longer drag strip. We already know it's not going to be quicker stock. Okay, let's do this. Full speed, full power. Not the best off the line yet again. But yeah, again, we are making our positions. We are already slower. Yeah. I should have mentioned that the Replica did it in 21:55. This is 26:69. But it's not too bad. Saying how this is next to stock. But what other cars in this game would do that sort of speed? That is also a muscle car. Like, we could always say, oh yeah, the Ferrari can do it, but that's a Ferrari. Alright, next location. Ooh, we don't want to go there just yet. Top of the mountain for our danger sign. So, I did all this testing off camera before we started, just to save a bit of time. But we did 1,705 feet. Let's say 80. But we do have one more test for the stock, and that is the drift zone down here. So we're just going to fast forward there, and we are going to do a little bit of a twist with the drift zone to make it fair, because this thing is so grippy. We're going to turn traction control off, just to make it fair, and so we can get a bit of slide, see what happens. I agree, gear ratio isn't the greatest, it shouldn't exactly be doing this. Even with traction control turned off, it's still quite rippy. It's quite difficult to kick the rear end out. And just like with my Replica, I've spun it. $138. Saying that, I've somehow drifted it better than the Replica. Like, I got the Replica to go 132,000 drift points. So let's go back to the festival site, upgrade it, see how much better it is with a bunch of upgrades on, with stock engine, stock aero, everything stock, well, majority of it stock, compared to the Replica vehicle. And I accidentally tapped the B button on my controller, and we'll have to reload into the festival because ooh, and accidentally press a button on my bloody controller. But yeah, let's have a look what we got. We're going to leave it rear wheel drive and stock engine. We're not going to mess around with the aero. We are already on race tyres, so we'll fatten them up. Get a race clutch as well as a race transmission. And all this bits race as well. Bit of brakes. We're already on race suspension. Race weight reduction. We're not going to put a roll cage in because it just adds weight. And then we're just going to throw a bit extra power in. Here we are. Where are we sitting now? We haven't actually got that much extra horsepower in this thing. That might be a problem. Not gonna lie, so we've only got an extra 100 horsepower from what we did have in with just a race supercharger in. But with a little bit of tuning, and hopefully it is much lighter, we should make some sort of a difference. We've still got less power than the Replica, but like I said, I put the V12 and 4-wheel drive in it, so stuff that this already has. We're just gonna do a quick half bubble tune just to get the most out of our current engine. Alright, now we'll just drag that down a bit. Suspension is on high. We need that low. Aero, braking is fine. Let's get the acceleration up to about 75 and the acceleration at 50. And that should do. In the car mastery, we already gone through that yesterday, as well as the paint. So actually, before we do leave the garage, our top speed it reckons now is 233.5. But if we actually did put the higher class, actually no, to make it even fairer, I reckon we should put in a more powerful engine. But we've wasted enough time on this upgrading anyway, so this will have to do for now. 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. 2.02. So 0 to 60 still quicker. 0 to 100 5.79. It still takes a little bit longer, but like I said, it's not as fair as the test of I thought it would I thought the Exorcist would be like, oh yes, Exorcist, real thing. Doesn't matter if we leave the majority of it how it is, it's still going to be better. But maybe around a racetrack it will be, but on here, I don't know. But because we left traction control turned off, we're going to do the drift zone again first. Then we'll turn the traction control back on to do the rest of the stuff. Alright, let's do this. Alright, we can already feel the car wanting to kick its rear end out a bit more. And just like the first test, as well as my off-camera test with the Replica, I spun it off the truck again. Because guess what, these things just have a bunch of grip. And I've got a backward seat yet again. But I reckon this would be a good drift car though. $147. As scuffed as that is. But saying that, it's amazing at drifting. Amazing. Right, let's turn traction control back on and get the other tests done. See if it's better on a drag strip than it is in top speed. Even though we are rear wheel drive. Like, that's another thing. It's a bit unfair because we're using a whole lot less power and rear wheel drive instead of more power, well, equal power and all wheel drive. Nah, we don't want to mess around with any of that. Well, let's do this. Right, I think we did a good time though. 17. Oh, we did not do a good time. 17.58. It's only a little bit quicker than. Actually, no. The stock was 4 seconds slower. Whilst this was 3 seconds slower. So with the most powerful engine we can put in this, as well as 4-wheel drive, this would probably easily demolish it. But it's too late to turn back now, so let's finish this off. But it seems like the only thing it's been better at is drifting, so I reckon this would probably be the perfect drift car with the right upgrades. That's the problem with rear-wheel drive, you don't get a good launch off the line. So then you have pure speed and power to make up for it. 24.89. Yeah, it's still about 3 seconds slower. But we still have 2 more tests to go. Next we'll just go up here, faster up here. Do the jump test, then do the top speed test, even though it's going to be still slow, but yo. One 4.9. 1.459. Which is still worse than the replica. And let's do Vard's little top speed test. Is it really capping out at 220? Alright, no, it's going up to 227, 228, 229, 31, 31. Now he seems to be sitting at 31. So that's that written down. Let's just pull over at the side of the road for our conclusion. But what is there to conclude? This was a very unfair test. I didn't actually put the highest engine on all-wheel drive on. The only thing that was better at was drifting, and this test was a complete waste of time. And on that disappointment, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.